Hello everyone, it's me, Madam Pamita, and this is another episode of Meet My Familiar. We had to take a couple days off because of the fires that we've been having, and we were evacuated, and there was all kinds of crazy stuff, including my partner who works here at the Parlor of Wonders losing his house. Another employee lost her house. It was not good, but we're back at work. We're backpacking and shipping orders and doing all the things. So, and we're back doing Meet My Familiar. So I'm doing it here from the shop where we're trying to catch up with all the things that happened last week. Today we have a really special pair of guests. We have Michelle and Melissa Macedo from the band Macedo, and they're going to be talking about their familiars. And I'm going to see if we bring them on together or if we're going to bring them on separately, but we're going to have all three of us here. Why we're doing this is because I have a new book out now called, I should get a copy of it. Dang it, I didn't bring one up here. Can you go grab me one, please? A copy of the new book. My new book is out. It's called The Witch's Guide to Animal Familiars. It'll be coming out. It's down there on the shelf over there. Thank you. Manfred, you're the best. Thank you so much. So The Witch's Guide to Animal Familiars is coming out on January 28th, and I got copies ahead of time. They always give authors their copies a little bit early so we can talk about them and promote them, of course. But this book is coming out officially on the 28th. It is a book all about making magic with animals. It is so sweet, so magical. So, if you have an animal, if you love animals and you make magic, this book is a must-have. You must have this book because it tells you all about how you can have a psychic link with an animal, like be a pet psychic or an animal psychic. Tells you how to do spells for your animal, with your animal, do divination with your animals. Oh my gosh, there's so many cool things in this book. So anyway, the reason we're doing these Meet My Familiars is because I heard these amazing stories from all of these people when I would tell them I was doing this book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to have these folks on so we can talk about the magic of animal familiars. So what I wanted to also tell you is we are still in pre-order phase because the book comes out on the 28th, and if you go to animalfamiliars.com, you can find a way to pre-order the book, and if you pre-order the book, you will get a pass to come to my book release party on January 28th, where I'm going to do animal familiar readings. I can either read for your animal familiar, or I can read for you to find out what animal familiar would like to work with you. So if you have an animal that you consider your familiar, or even your pet, or you just want a reading for your pet, I'll be doing that. It's part of the party. It's free, and everyone gets a reading. So come and join me on the 28th. The only way to get a ticket to the book release party is to pre-order the book. Now, if you pre-ordered before and you got the bonus before, don't worry. You're going to be included in all the bonuses, included this one. But if you haven't pre-ordered yet, now is the time where you can come and you can get a reading for yourself or for your animal, for your beloved pets in your life, the beloved animals in your life, even wild animals. And I'll do a reading for you or for them, and you got to join me. It's going to be so fun. All right, so let me see if I can get, let me see if I can find them. There they are. Here, let's bring the Macedo sisters. They are multi-hyphenate, talented women, and they're sisters. Amazing. Let's see if we can get them in here. Here they are. Oh my gosh.
Hi. How's it going?
I mean, I haven't seen you guys face to face or virtually face to face in so many years, and it is
I
so great to
know.
see you.
You so great to see you too. We love watching everything you do, your podcast, your books, and you probably saw for Christmas, Melissa got me one of your books, and I'm very excited. But it's very exciting to see everything that you've done since we have been face to face. Which on social media it feels like we see you face to face. But
Yes, well, your career, it's been very fun because your career has been really blossoming and you guys have been doing so much. And so I have been really enjoying seeing all that you're doing too, and how your creativity is just getting out there, and it just makes my heart so happy. I'm a creative gal, so yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's amazing. I was thinking about like when we met, like Melissa found you. You were in Highland Park, I believe. you know, and now I see, well, you're in Santa Monica, I
I
think,
live
right?
in Santa Monica, but my shop, I have a factory now, not a shop that people can go in, but the
Mhm.
factory is in Canoga Park. So
Okay.
the factory's okay. So we had to evacuate in Santa Monica. And of course,
Oh,
two of our employees lost their homes here. It's been
that's
crazy.
horrible.
And you guys are okay and everything's
Yeah, you
okay.
know, our parent, we were born and raised in Pasadena, and our parents live there, and
They evacuated. We helped
they
them
evacuated,
evacuate.
but thank God their house is okay and still standing. And I
Hmm.
mean, just it's just mostly the horror of watching it happen,
It's just
as you know. And I'm
devastating.
so sorry for your
I
employees.
know, and that you were so close to it.
I know.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
scary.
So
It's so scary.
Yeah, it's terrifying, and I'm glad you're okay and that your employees are okay
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
everyone's there,
physically.
but yeah, but to lose everything is, it seems like, you go, well, thank God I'm alive,
I
because
know.
there are people that don't have that they
Yeah,
can
I
say, of
know.
course.
I know.
yeah,
But then to lose everything is also deep grief. There's deep, deep grief around it, and both of them are super
yeah.
grieving, and yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
can't even
So
horrible.
imagine just like them. I mean, every time for the past week, you know, every time turning on the news or watching
Mhm.
everything and trying to volunteer, I mean, it's just like between
It's just,
crying for everyone, you
yeah.
know, and also, you know, trying to figure out ways to help. And especially with this right now with the familiars, I think it's a great time, you know, Pasadena Humane Society is out there finding
Like a lot of
animals
animals,
from
and
the fire
I know
and
there's
wildlife.
a lot of places in the Palisades that are helping out and
Yeah,
going in to try and find animals and help animals. So
yeah,
yeah, of
that's,
course. Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Yes. I mean, that's another thing, all the wildlife. And of course, people have lost their pets and they can't get back in
I
I
to see if,
know.
like, the pet has come back. It's just such a
Yeah,
mess. Yeah.
yeah, even
yeah. You know,
that's so sad.
we were even reading that like pets are and indoor cats are very resilient and like will escape if there's a way. But right, they if they're up there waiting and not allowed to go back, I mean
It's
that.
heartbreaking, and
Right,
heartbreaking not knowing for people, ugh,
I know.
it's really
yeah,
something else, something else.
Yeah.
But let me tell everybody who you
yeah,
are, because I mean, your audience obviously knows who you are, but my audience you might be new to them. Um, so Melissa and Michelle have a band called Macedo, but you also have your own individual music projects that you do too.
yeah,
But your big main project is
yeah.
together, and this is a songwriting duo composed of twin sisters, Melissa and Michelle Macedo, and their return using their natural sibling connection and otherworldly creative bond to create you have a fun new single out called
Hmm.
Optimistic
Yeah.
that's equally steeped in 80s pop and synth-wave mystique, which I love. I love that song so much.
Thank
It's
You.
For the Macedo sisters, music started at the beginning. Melissa and Michelle Macedo developed an unbreakable bond and shared a shared passion for music from an early age. Sisterhood and their early exposure to various genres shaped their artistic identities and set them on their musical journey. But not only are you guys musicians, beyond their musical career, the Macedo sisters continue on with a prevalent acting career as well. They were most recently cast in Aitch Alberto's film adaptation of Benjamin Alire Sáenz. Oh, I probably mangled
Optimate.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, Queer coming of age novel. Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe, which was produced by Lin Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
Oh my God, amazing.
Such,
You can also catch them in Netflix Girlboss series, and they starred in the film Every Time I Die, which is on Netflix, High Potential and Goliath. Oh my gosh, you guys are so busy. You're such busy bees. It's
No,
amazing.
we try.
we
You know.
try.
You know.
You know how it
that's
goes.
that's I think, I mean, with every creative person, you always look like, I could be doing more, I could be going
I
higher.
know,
But
right?
I have so many clients who are actors and creatives and musicians, and that what you guys have achieved, I hope you gave yourself a little moment to appreciate and give yourself a pat
Thank
on the
you.
back for all your hard work and
Thank
how
you.
far you've come, because that is a remarkable.
And
So I know we
you
always
too.
go.
Yeah,
I
and
hope
you
you
too. Yeah,
too. You
everything you've built. I
put
mean,
so much work
I've
in.
ordered spell kits from
Yeah,
what I now
of
know is
course.
your, your factory,
Yeah,
where you are right now.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Yeah, so we should all do that. We should
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
It's easy
Take
to
a
just
moment
forget.
to take a moment to like take in the view. Yes, there's higher peaks you're going to climb, of
Mhm.
course, but you know you're on a beautiful peak right now and you can take in such a beautiful view. So, but
Yeah.
we're here to talk about your
Oh
animals,
yes.
Medianoche and Grumble. So who do we have here with us?
So
I
we
saw
have
somebody.
here.
I
I'll
know.
grab her because I'm trying to get. So
We
this
have.
is Medianoche. We
Mhm.
call Noche, and my
She's magical.
she's magical. She's polydactyl, so she has 6 toes on each claw, and she's very floofy. And we were trying to bribe her with churu. Okay,
Yeah.
and she'll come back around. And then we have Grumble here. If you want to pick up.
Yeah, maybe in a moment.
We'll pick them up in a moment. But I was telling them all day, you're gonna need to go on camera.
Yeah.
And actually, we decided to sit in front of this on my wall. It's just the black cat. We love black
Oh,
cats.
I love
Um,
that so much. I love
yeah,
it so
They're very
much.
magical.
Well,
yeah, yeah.
so I'm going to ask you the questions that I've been asking people, like how did you and Grumble and Medianoche meet? I mean, how did that come
Yeah.
about?
It's interesting because we have different journeys. We like it was so out of nowhere. Noach, I call
Yeah.
her. So I had gotten out of a relationship. I'd actually just like redecorated my apartment because I was like, I don't want,
Get the energy
I
out.
want to get the energy out. I'm like, have new energy, starting anew. Then I had a mutual friend that called and said, I don't know if you're in the market for a cat, but there's this, and she used the word magical polydactyl black cat
Mm-hmm.
that just feels like it's for you.
Mm-hmm.
And she was found under a car and was taken to Burbank Animal Shelter and then fostered by people. And so she was like, do you want to come and meet her? And I was like, firstly, my ex was allergic to cats. So I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. Like, make sure, there's no way, there's no going back from here. And obviously getting any sort of animal is a big responsibility. But Melissa was like, we need to get in the car, we
Yeah.
need to go see
It's
her.
like we need to go meet her. We need to see what the vibe is. Obviously, she was amazing.
She was amazing. Within the first like 5 minutes, I mean, she's like brave, she's spicy, she's like all these things, very outgoing,
Sassy.
sassy. And I was like, okay, we are soulmates, we have this soul connection.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got her and brought her home.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's just been ever since then. I mean, she sleeps on my chest every night. Even during the fires, like we evacuated for a little bit, and I had these carriers out, and I was so worried about her and like and where we were going and if she was going to be okay because we went to this like Airbnb. And I mean, she was out brave and she was like comforting me when I'm stressed out. Like she sits in my lap and she purrs, and she doesn't take any BS from anyone. Like she also is like, I learned from her definitely
Yeah, that's true.
like boundaries and being like, no, like
Yeah.
she's gonna do her,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that those are definitely important lessons
Mm-hmm.
that she's taught me.
Yeah.
And there's even like a friend of mine did this portrait of me and her.
Oh my
It's amazing.
gosh.
And that just happened to be there. I didn't even mean to put that in the frame, but I was just thinking that. So yeah, but we're, now, and that was in 2019.
And one thing that is also especially important is that black cats are less likely to be adopted
Yeah.
and fostered, and less likely to go into shelters, to be accepted to shelters. And we've always had a connection to black cats.
Same.
Yeah.
And yeah, right?
Yeah,
They're very
I mean,
magical.
it's like people. Yeah, there's these superstitions about them being bad luck, but they're so powerful, and also it's like survive so much. Oh, she brought us a toy. Oh, she just she just brought us a toy. Okay, wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is absolutely true. I have had black cats in the past. I have a white cat now because I was going after a black cat, but then she came to me and I
Oh,
was like, she was
yeah.
perfect. So
They find you.
Find you.
they find you. So in finding Grumble, I mean, that's
Yeah.
an amazing story because that is like, you had that instant knowing. I talk about this, like you just have an intuitive hit sometimes when you meet an animal that, oh, I must have this animal. This is my animal.
Yeah.
So what was the story with Grumble?
I was helping out this rescue, and they were looking for fosters. I fostered a cat that, like, I know, Noach is back. Noach is back. That was like, and that cat like moved on to an adoption center and everything. And then in that group chat, for the fostering group chat, a woman was like, "Hi, like I have this kitten. Like, can anyone foster the kitten?" And I was like, "I'll have the kitten."
And she's in the, and she was with like 14 other cats.
The woman who was fostering the kitten was had 14 cats that she was fostering, which is insane, and very, very kind of her. And anyway, so I went to meet her. We met like our cars met in downtown LA, and then she was like, "Okay, do you want to go in your car and like meet her?" And I opened the carrier. I'm like, "Okay, yes." Like, she was so excited and purring and so sweet, and I brought her home, and we like kept her in a separate room for a little bit, and then she just became. The reason we call her Grumble is because she would purr every time you pick her up, every time you pet her, every time.
Very grumbly.
Very grumbly. And one thing that always happens is, for example, if I'm doing like a candle spell or a visualization or meditation, she'll always come up and sit with me or sit on the table and look at the candle too. And like, there's this knowing, like, she's so smart.
Yeah.
And I do feel like there's definitely that connection. She follows me around everywhere. Like everywhere I go, upstairs, downstairs, like she'll be there. And then that's how we got Grumble.
Oh my gosh. That itself is a sign, you know, when you have an animal that is coming around, or, you know, paying attention when you're doing a magical thing, which isn't, you know, you can kind of gauge, like sometimes some familiars will just hang out when you're doing spells, but they're not interested in divination, or vice versa. Some are interested in all of it. It's just like having friends. You might have a friend that's interested in tarot, but not interested in magic. And it's, you know, the same thing goes along with that. Is there anything that Noach adds to your spiritual practice?
Oh yeah.
Does she?
If there's a spell going, even like lighting a candle and visualizing, she's around. She's like floofing around, figuring it out. And we actually have like a group of women that we meet with that we do like a meditation group, and then sometimes it's like readings, and sometimes it's just like, you know, manifesting. And she always comes and sits on my lap, and without fail, even when I'm like started the meeting without her, I mean, she's there. Like, she definitely has a sense of what's going on. They really are so connected in that way, you know.
And we say, because they both always, like, if we have a scene we're preparing for an audition, they both always go and sit on the scene, and we're like, oh, they're blessing the scene. It's like good luck.
And
I'm always like, sit on this thing.
Sit on this script.
Well, maybe they're helping you out, because, you know, not every job is a good job. Not every acting job is a good job. So if they don't sit on it, maybe it's a sign.
That's
that
true,
it's...
actually. That's very true. Because they don't sit on all of them, but when they do, you know, it's sometimes like Notes will play with it, or like with her paws, you know. So that's very true.
Also, interestingly, Grumble always, when we're taping auditions, she always comes into the room and watches. Like, it's really funny how she just is so interested in it. So
maybe like, you have a familiar / acting coach.
I know, seriously. And exactly, it's like music career. In fact, like, Noach will oftentimes, when I'm practicing, get on the keyboard and make a little song of her own. You know, she's got all those toes, so I know that it's gonna be a good. But film her when she does that, but she often gets on the keyboard and is like, let me make this
Oh
better.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
gosh,
Let me
I love
improve
it.
it.
I'm
It's
sure
very
you've seen all those videos of people taking the cat, like putting the they and then they write a song around
Yeah,
it. You
I
know
know.
what I
It's
mean?
funny.
yeah,
It's
it's
so
really
cute.
funny.
Oh my gosh. Do you have you ever like invited them? I mean, there's a really interesting thing when I was interviewing, and I didn't actually bring this up in depth in my book. I mean, I do talk about having animals do divination, and particularly having like dogs, for example, you know, because dogs are very like will bite something and hold on to it, like to
Yeah.
pick a card, right? You know, like a dog can pick a card out of a hand. If you spread them in your hands, they can pick it up. Not so much a cat,
Oh,
right? But
right,
somebody
right.
was talking about their cat. I think it was, I want to say it was Nicholas Pearson, or I don't know. It was somebody I interviewed. I can't remember who now.
Mhm.
Who said their cat would touch certain cards or knock off certain cards in the reading, and they thought, oh, that means they don't want that card. But then they realized it was the cat telling them, pay attention
Pay
to this
attention to that
particular
card.
Yeah,
card. There's something really important here that you,
yeah,
it's almost like when you drop the card and you look at it and you pay
Yeah,
attention to that card, you know?
totally.
So
Oh,
have
yeah.
they,
I have never done. That's a great idea, actually.
there's a deck that like so I think it's like the oracle deck that every day I would like just flip a card for a message or whatever, and actually sometimes notes would go either sit on it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're very interested in the cards. Like cats, you know, they'll like play with it or whatever, and I'm like,
yeah,
I
Yeah,
know
that
there's some
I
wisdom there going
that
on.
I'm gonna try that. I haven't.
I
I never
know.
thought about
yeah.
that.
That's
I think there might be something in them sitting on certain scripts, sitting on certain cards, touching
Yeah,
certain cards, or knocking them off, or doing something that is like, pay attention to that. I think that can be a really interesting thing to like do in your practice, you know, that you're
yeah,
looking at.
definitely.
And I mean,
absolutely.
and
And like,
when when I think that when they're hanging around while you're doing a spell or something, that really, it's like them holding space for you, them lending their
yeah,
energy, and so they're adding energy to your spell work absolutely every time they're hanging around, you know, and
Yeah,
totally.
helping and supporting you.
That's what it feels like. Like I did actually one of your spell kits for protection
oh yeah.
a member, and she was all around it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I was afraid she would like try to put her whiskers in the candle flame, but she did, there was no like she knew, you know,
Mm-hmm.
what was going on. She knew, and she was just it felt like holding space for it. So
Yeah,
I think anything
And
they're so psychic on a level, I feel like. So it's like anything we're trying to manifest,
and they
they
have
make stronger.
a kind, loving energy that they're always bringing to the table, to the spell, to the whatever it may be. That I think it elevates the message.
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. This is exactly what I'm trying to get across with the book, is like to tell people like how this is not just having an animal be around when you're doing magic. It's not
Right.
just that. You guys know this because you experienced it, but for people who haven't experienced it, or maybe it's been happening and they haven't
Yeah.
realized it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that they're really giving their such positive supportive energy. They love you and they want you to manifest the things that you want. They want you to be safe, they want you to
Yes.
be happy, because they love you, right?
Yeah.
They care for you, and you're more than just their servant, although we are
Yeah.
their servants with
Yeah, we're staff. We're
Yeah.
staff too. But they deserve that, you know. We should have staff.
every cat owner knows
Yeah.
you're their servant.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
the
Exactly.
staff. You're the staff for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, if you were like, if you know, oh, by the way, since you guys are so, before I go into this, but because you guys are so connected in the rescue community, I'm
Mhm.
going to be looking for a black fluffy kitten
Oh,
that's going to
okay.
come to me in March from somewhere.
Oh,
So if it happens to be
amazing.
you guys
Oh,
see a black fluffy kitten,
Hey.
okay.
and particularly I need a black fluffy kitten with a sibling, I'm gonna take both of them.
Oh,
So it doesn't matter what the
that.
sibling looks like, but the black fluffy one, I want to have that
that's
black
okay.
fluffy one.
That's
So.
great. Well, we'll definitely
That's great
have our
to
eyes
know.
peeled for that.
We will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my Glinda's a little lonely. She lost her buddy,
Aw.
and so
Sorry.
she's a little lonely. And
Yeah.
yeah, and March is a good time for me to bring the cat
Yeah.
in. So yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
So just so if that cat or that cat and its sibling comes across your path, you know, then
Okay,
just think of me.
absolutely. You're always looking at
Oh,
cats and being
yeah.
like, how could we fit
Yeah,
any more? You know,
I know.
I wish we could take them all.
I know.
I know. Well, you know what? I see. I have a friend who's a really bad influence. When we when we stayed, we had to take Glinda and camp out. You know, and my friend said we have cats. It's a cat friendly house. Come. You can all stay here.
Mhm.
And so we were staying in Sherman Oaks, and she has 5 cats.
Yeah.
And I was so.
Yeah.
I said, this is my dream
Yeah.
come true. I'm at a cat cafe slumber
Yeah.
party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, basically its own cat cafe.
Well, I will say,
yeah, it's
I actually have 6 cats.
yeah.
Total. I
Oh
do.
my gosh.
I know, but it's actually a similar thing. I got notes. Then Melissa signed me up to foster because
I'm a bad influence.
she's a bad influence.
You're an enabler, an enabler. cat.
Yes, I'm an enabler.
And they were all kittens, and they were all bonded, and they were found in a bush in downtown LA.
Mhm.
And then every morning they would line up in a line, and Noach would groom them like she was their mother.
I know.
I know.
It's
I
so
know.
cute.
You
I
can't
know.
separate them. You just
I-
can't.
I
And
looked
they
up
love
if it
each
was
other.
traumatizing to separate siblings. I mean, especially as siblings. I'm just like, they're so bonded
Yeah.
and they all get along, and it's like,
it's
great-
It's hard. It's really hard to.
yeah.
Anyway, they all love each other, and it's so sweet.
But it is like you're always in a cat cafe, and I mean, I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I mean, I was like, there at the place I was staying, there was young ones, there was like very like year-old ones, there were few-year-old ones, and there was senior cats, and the little young ones frolicking around and being crazy and wild. It's just like I was like, oh my God, I gotta get a cat.
how
cats.
was Galinda in that environment?
She was separate from them because she's spicy. She's a spicy girl.
Yeah.
So I was like, she's gonna be coming out like this, and I go, that's not good. So we kept.
They would outnumber her.
It was too much. So she was in her own little area. She got to hang out, you know, with the people on that side of the house, and then I got to hang out. You know, we were back and forth. But my son was staying with her in one room, and then she hung out with the kids that were there. The kids are their 20s, that were the young people, and then I was hanging out with the old people and the cats, other cats. So.
That's great company. As long as there's cats.
Oh my God.
You know.
God, it was amazing. It was amazing, and my friend Christy is just so kind to let us go evacuate there, and it was made it very easy because I just, you know, if you have a pet and you're bringing it to somebody who doesn't have a pet, it's you know, it's a whole other thing. Yeah,
and it's like they're not used to it, and they're like they don't know what to expect.
I know.
Yeah,
you don't want to put that on somebody
exactly
unless they know what it's like.
Yeah, this was so easy. It was totally easy, and it was great. And I got to have 2 nights of slumber party in a cat cafe, so
that's great.
No complaints.
I'm sure you finally slept through the night, hopefully, because you were those nights. Like at the beginning, I was like, oh, I like,
kept waking up and looking at the news, and oh my gosh, it was. I mean, I have kind of been sleeping a little bit better, but it's been wild.
But they, you know, I don't know if you had this experience, but like our cats, they knew something was wrong.
Yeah,
they knew, they could sense something.
Running
the air, you know, this everybody's agitation and anxiety. I mean, they pick up on our emotions, of course. They can tell what we're feeling.
Yeah,
I mean, for sure.
Definitely.
Now, last question, and then we're gonna wrap up and let you guys get back to all your kitty cats and all your magic and fun.
Cafe,
if someone came to you and was like, I think I have a familiar, or I'd like a familiar, or I'd like to make magic with my animals, do you have any like tips or tricks or recommendations of things that you think would be helpful, or things that they should look for, or anything like that?
Yeah, that's a
That's
great
a good
question.
That's a good question.
I would say if you and your animal are emotionally in tune with each other, like for example, if you're feeling something and the animal, like, well, in this case, a cat, but whichever animal comes up to you and like you can, or not even comes up to you, you can feel like this connection that's
like
more than
to
just...
it. Also, maybe even like protection spells, because it's like you both want to protect each other. Like that's what surprised me in the protection spell. It's like they come around because it's both ways. Like especially with cats, like they definitely think we're just like big dumb cats that don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so she's like, all right, I gotta, they feel like, I feel like she feels like she's protecting me. I feel like, I'm
Yeah.
protecting
I
her.
would say well, the last thing is to pay attention, because animals do tell us things that sometimes we don't pay attention to. And
Yeah.
like it could be that, right? Like the cards, like hitting the cards over or pulling a card out, or even just like how they're communicating with you. I think is a great place
Yeah.
to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that is like you're, talking about that intuitive understanding, but also when you are mindful and just having a
Yeah.
mindfulness practice of watching what your cat's doing and trusting your intuition about what those things mean, because if you're
Absolutely.
connected, you'll get the hits and you'll
Yeah.
know for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Definitely.
good.
And what they're trying to teach you. They have so much wisdom,
Yeah, you do.
that we think we know everything, but
Yeah.
I think they really know everything.
Yeah, if you and even that, just that mindset of like you're my teacher.
Yeah.
So if you come to your beloved animals in your spiritual practice, whatever that is, and say, "Oh, you're my teacher," it is a different way of approaching them and a different way of observing them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And communicating with them, really. So I think that's very, very wise.
100%.
Absolutely.
I cannot wait to read your book.
I know. I was so excited for it. Well, where can we get it?
Well,
Post
you
about it?
you guys are gonna get one for being on the show, or
Thank
two for being on the
you.
show.
Well, we want to support you.
But
Absolutely.
but everybody can get it if they go to animalfamiliars.com. There's all the places that people can
Awesome.
pre-order, and
Okay.
if they pre-order, they get to come to the record release party. So the book release party. So we're having a book release party on Zoom, and at the book release
Fun.
party, what we're going to do is I'm going to do readings for everyone that's there.
Oh, amazing.
And so either I can do a reading, like a pet psychic reading for your familiar or your animal friend,
Yeah.
or if people don't have an animal yet, I can do a reading to say what animal is interested in being their familiar. So
I love that.
everybody
I
gets a
love
reading
that.
whether they have an animal or not, and all they have to do is go to sign up at animalfamiliars.com. So I've got Palisades fire eating fire
Yeah.
brain.
I know. It's a lot. It's a lot.
All they have to do is go to animalfamiliars.com, pre-order the book, and then sign up and let us know that they pre-ordered, and they'll get the book, like normally, but they'll also get this free party, and we have a bunch of other bonuses that are coming as well, and anybody who signs up now gets the party and every subsequent bonus that's coming, so it's kind of a good deal.
Great.
Yeah.
That's a great deal.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for having us.
Yes, and let's talk about anything you want to, your new single optimistic is out, and then where can they find your music, et cetera, all those things.
So check us out on Spotify. It's Macedo, Macedo. We're on there. That's a good place. Get us, those streams. We love them. We love it.
We are Macedo Music on Instagram. Yeah. Also, we each have our own Instagrams.
Yeah.
Melissa Macedo M and Michelle Macedo M.
Yes.
And TikTok, we're Macedo Sisters. Yeah. So I believe those are
Sisters Macedo.
Maybe Sisters Macedo.
Yeah, there's a lot of TikTok. There was a lot of stuff taken. But so check us out there. We should be coming out with a new single soon, and I'm going to be in an episode of High Potential soon, coming out, being released in a few weeks.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Yes, but they can follow you on all of the things. That is so amazing. Well, thank you so much, you guys, for coming and taking the time. And just that last reminder, The Witch's Guide to Animal Familiars is coming out January 28th. The book release party is on the 28th. And if you want to come to the book release party and get a reading for your animal or for yourself, it's like my free gift for coming to the party and celebrating. Just go to animalfamiliars.com. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a great, safe rest of your day.
Stay safe. We send you all the positive energy.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.